Spy X Family, it's happening. Oh my god. If you don't read this, this is the video. We're going to tell you why you should read it. And gush about it in general.
Yes.
Not Thurman. David it's surprising to me that David likes this. I forget sometimes that beneath the alcoholic fucking like depressed shell of a man that David is, he has this like love for cutesy and wholesome. It's very adorable.
You got to literally like watch me fall in love with these characters as I was basically live tweeting it from both accounts too.
Oh, it's funny though. You know what I'm saying though, right? Like if someone met you randomly in like an alleyway, like, no one would. They'd think you were like some fucking badass.
I mean, I guess that has that effect. I come off as more of a sarcastic cunt than anything.
Right? Yeah. True. It's just funny, like it's not at all what I expect. It's like you've matured so well. You used to be, like as you've kind of strayed away from more action series, you just love the wholesome, cutesy, like romance. It's adorable. I love it.
Hey. Beneath my rugged exterior, there's a man that loves the cutesy, wholesome shit. I grew up on fucking Sailor Moon too, okay?
Yes. So this series, we are going to be reviewing it, just like we did with Chainsaw Man. It's honestly, I don't even know how to. I guess I'll start by just describing basic thing here. So you start off with a guy named Twilight. Well, that's his code name. His code name Twilight. He's a spy. Chime in if I fuck anything up here, David. And he's like the top spy, the kind of guy who goes in and stops wars from happening, right? Like, so if it was in our world, it'd be like, you got South Korea, you got North Korea. This is the guy that's gonna go in, play both sides, fucking smooth shit over. He's kind of the status quo manager. We want shit to escalate. We gotta keep shit the way it is, because right now it's lucrative for people who are paying me, right? So he's going in, smoothing shit over, yada, yada, yada. And he has this job where it's like, all right, it's real hard to get to this guy because he really he stays reclused in this building here. The only way you're going to get to him is to, have a kid and apply them to the school that he runs or whatever. And he's like, all right, so you got to get
the school his kid goes to.
Oh, yeah, his kid goes to, right. So is he not high up in the school? I always assumed he was.
I would assume he is, and correct.
Like on the board or something?
Correct either of us if we're wrong here on that premise. But I would assume, but I don't think it's ever been really clarified.
Okay, but yeah, so main point here is he's got to get a kid, and he's got to get like a fake wife and just have like this family and yada yada. So first, he's like, all right, well, I guess I'll just go to this orphanage and like look for a kid, because we got to like pretend it's been my kid forever, right? So he goes to this orphanage and finds, and this is when I was hooked personally, finds this kid named Anya, official best character of the series.
Yes.
Closely followed by Yor, in my personal opinion, but hey, we'll get to that. So Anya here, she's your typical, like, cutesy, like, anime, like, little child girl. It kind of gives me, like, Mabel from Gravity Falls vibes. Very charismatic. But there's one little fucking thing that hooked me immediately. David, would you like to do that reveal since I've been doing all the talking? What's different about her? She can fucking read minds. A child with the ability to read minds, and they reveal it so well because like she can tell everything that he needs from her for this mission, and and again, it's been a bit since I've seen the first chapter now, but like I just remember her like, she can't be too long, she's gotta be at least 6. I'm 6.
I'm 6. The whole like fucking breaking down the mission almost instantaneously, like thinking, oh no, if I complete the mission, I just go back here. I want to be a good girl. I want to be a good daughter mindset. And everything that she's done throughout the series has been done with such bravado and such adorableness.
No, so like, what's great about this like, I don't know what the word I'm looking for here is. This kind of like what they're doing here with having a child that has this ability is that like a lot of times when you see mind readers, it's they have this tact, this smartness. They know how to use it. They know how to manipulate people. But you have a child who still has the mentality of a child, the intelligence of a child, with this mind reading ability. It really it changes that whole dynamic where like you're seeing her. So she has the ability, but she's not doing it in like the smartest way. So again, like it's so weird because she's it's so unnatural for her to be like, yes, I'm 6. Right as he thinks it. She's like, yes, but like obviously no one's gonna be like, oh, I guess she reads minds because like this is not a common thing in their world. If I remember correctly, she's like an experiment or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, that's not a common thing, so no one's like, oh, must be she can read minds, you know? They just think, what a weird fucking kid, you know? And a lot of times, Anya is, like, the MVP because she can... Oh, wait, sorry, let me get to Yor first, too, as well. So, to add even more insanity to this, Yor is a woman who, you know, she's just single, she's alone, she's working this temp job, and she's just something off about her. And this country, they're in such like high kind of like tension right now that like any little thing that's off about someone, they're gonna be like, you must be a spy. You know, have you ever played that game, Glory to Otskotska? Papers, Please. You ever play that?
Oh my god.
Yes, no.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Well, in that
nope,
game,
I never
like,
played
it was
Papers,
obvious
Please.
that they were a country that was like they were very tense. They didn't trust anyone, right? And
yeah.
It reminds me of that because, like, she, to the point where she has to make sure she gets, like, married, not because she wants to be married, but simply because that's the only way to avoid suspicion, right? And also, she happens to be an assassin. And, you know, so she literally, like, they both have a reason to want a fake family. But the beautiful thing is, they all have a secret. None of them know. So, like, he is a spy who assumes that this is just a normal girl and a normal woman. She is an assassin who assumes that he's a normal guy whose wife passed away, and this is actually his daughter. And then the daughter is basically the only one that knows everything, because she's a mind reader, and she's just the glue that holds this whole thing together. It's like such a mess. It's such chaos, and it's beautiful to watch unfold.
It really is. Like, from your kicking ass and taking names, trying to protect Lloyd...
No, Yor is ultimate mother bear. Like, the best mother. Oh my god. I love... Like,
oh,
go ahead.
To Anya... just gushing over Big Doggy.
Chonker Borfo.
Chonker Borfo. To Lloyd Twilight just sitting there being calm, collected.
Overthinking everything.
But also being this panic, like us, about the channel, really.
He's so, like, but he's, like, also, like, really talented at everything. He's, like, the master of disguise. He's, like, a certified genius, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I think of, like, the dumbest fucking thing ever. Like, the one where he had to pretend to be a zookeeper because, like, they put, like, a bomb in a penguin or something.
Yes.
And, like, he, like, perfectly could identify every single penguin. Like, yeah, I flipped this book, and now I know all of these penguins by name. And then, like, he leaves, and then the actual zookeeper that was supposed to do that job, like, there's nothing more I can teach you. You're clearly a genius. And he's like, what?
He's like, okay. and that dude got fired the next day.
Oh, yeah. Like, what happened? You were so good.
You were so good for 20 minutes. And then it all fell apart.
Set those standards high. But yeah, so, like, that's kind of, it's just cool.
Can we also talk about the fucking fact that Yor's brother works for the other side?
Yeah, that's actually what I've just been, so Yor's brother is fucking awesome. Awesome in
Yor's brother, I want to punch in the face.
No. What I mean is, like, awesome in the same way that, like, Yoshihage Kira from JoJo is awesome. Like, he's like a psychopath, but he's so interesting to watch because he is kind of like that. And I know I deal with these people a lot being involved politically. He is one of those people who is like super patriotic, believes his country can do no wrong, and you know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
like, I will fight for this country, and I will protect... He's like a massive... I think when I was reading it, I described him as a Kool-Aid drinker. You know, like, I must just protect him, or protect my sister and this country from our enemies. You know, he's interesting, and it gets kind of weird, because he's also kind of got that vibe. I know you said you read a little bit of Black Clover.
Yeah.
That guy that's, like, creepily obsessed with his little sister.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of that. Luckily, his little sister is not a child, so it's a little less creepy than Black Clover. But
yeah, Black Clover was a little creepy.
So instead of incest and pedo-ness, it's just incest. But he's definitely like creepily.
I mean, it's Japan. It's Japan.
Yeah. He has developed like a thing with his sister, and like, I get it, you know, she was there for him, and like, it's kind of like Freud talked about this, you know, wanting to fuck your mom, wanting to fuck your sister, like. I guess I understand. Like, if you're a young boy who had zero other fucking interaction with women, like the vibe I got from this kid, I guess that was just kind of like, you are the one woman figure in my life, and I don't know how to separate platonic love from wanting to smash love. That's the vibe I get from him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because you see how like he's got inconsistent morality, because he tells her, oh, I want you to get married because I want you to be safe and yada yada yada, but then the second she is, he's like immediately not going to be satisfied with whoever it is. You know, it was
Yeah.
kind of just something he said over and over again, never really wanting it to happen.
He kept trying to detach himself, but never wanting to be fully detached.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me of you know, I have a person who I've had a crush on for a long time, you know, and I want to see her happy, and you know, I've tried to like push her to like talk to people, but like on the inside, I know it would hurt if she ever did get a relationship, but I know I'm like, you gotta be the bigger person and be like, no, go get that, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the vibe. But although again, this is different because it's his sister, so that's not defending it.
Not defending it whatsoever, but here's the other big one. Like this organization is clearly everywhere, kind of like an MI6, kind of like your Mission Impossible. I forget the organization in there, but it's kind of like that, but almost to a Hogwarts style. You know, like here's a chute that goes down to Gringotts, or
yeah. So remember, this is a video we're going to be titling "Why You Should Read." So you got to explain things like to people that maybe have not read this before. So the organization he's talking about is the organization that Twilight works for. This like top spy. Yes.
Yeah. So like, just randomly getting pulled aside, especially in like the side mission chapters, like getting pulled aside while at the fucking aquarium. Like
it reminds me of remember Burn the Witch?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like they just ride the fucking like phone booth down, you know, like yeah, they're fucking everywhere. They have fucking like he'll be at like the zoo, and then all of a sudden like one of the vendors will be working with the organization and be like, popcorn, get your popcorn here. Twilight, come here and get your popcorn.
Twilight, get your popcorn. There's definitely not a fucking assignment in that bag.
Twilight, popcorn. Yes. Popcorn. Anyway, there's a fucking terrorist in here.
Yeah, you need to go assassinate that person over there.
Like, I always love imagining that, like, intelligence agencies, they probably do legit. Like, there's probably so many fucking, like, almost, like, world-ending scenarios that are just averted because of people like that. Like, in our world. Yeah.
Like, there more than likely is. Like, we don't think about it, you know, but it's happening.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a quote, I don't remember from who or what movie or what person or anything, but, like, I think the best spy goes completely unnoticed. Like their work will always go unnoticed because the point is for them to not, you know, like
draw attention.
You shouldn't know whether they're there or not. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I wanted to talk too about the dynamic of Yor. What's your like top 3 characters? Go. Obviously, everyone's favorite is Anya. If it's not, you're
Anya.
Anya. Then 2 and 3.
I love Lloyd a bit more than Yor.
Boo.
Just bear with me for a minute. Like, Lloyd is the James Bond of this, and I grew up on James Bond. I like literally sitting right next to me is the entire saga on Blu-ray. Like that, those were some of my favorite movies growing up. I have strong attachments to that kind of character, so obviously he's going to rank above that. But Yor is, like you said, Mama Bear. Like, she is literally one of the pillars here that has to exist for the mission. But not only that, she's formed this almost like instinct immediately to be mother. Just like Lloyd is slowly kind of like finding the fathering side, but he still isn't able to, you know, become the father. Like, he can't separate fully like mission and family.
But there's a lot of great moments where he will, like, if I remember correctly, there's a moment where he's like, tomorrow I have an important day of family bonding. I mean, accelerating the mission, you know?
Yes.
Like, and he's having these moments where he's sitting down like, this is actually like fun. Like, you know, it's a mission. It's always just been work, but like I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying coming home and seeing these people, and
but he's also
even more like, for me, my favorite character other than Anya is Yor. And I've said this to many people that I've talked to about this series, but if you know anything about me, you know that my favorite fictional character from anything ever is Killua. And there's just something about the socially anxious assassin characters. Killua has got it. Yor has got it. In fact, I described Yor once as if Killua had a good mother, it would have been Yor. Because, like, there's just a great this dynamic, because it totally makes sense. I can believe it. Where, like, you are this trained assassin killer. You like think Agent 47 from Hitman, right? Like, you're just so good at what you do. you become almost like a savant where like you have trained on this one thing. I'm a master killer. I can walk into a building of like 100 people and just murder them all without even being noticed. Yada yada yada. It makes sense to me that if you have that skill, you would also be shitty socially. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
because
absolutely.
think about all the time and effort devoting to that, and also like numbing yourself to human death. It makes total sense that she'd be weird and like antisocial and like just super off as a person. But like it also makes total sense to me that she would actually crave like that family life too, you know, like because her whole life she's been just this killer, you know?
Yeah.
And so like not only do I just love that dynamic,
like,
because Kilo had the same Go ahead.
But to me, like I have more of that attachment to the
Do you mind if I finish my gushing of her and then you can do a gush of Lloyd, I suppose?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So I didn't know if I thought you were gonna add on to it, but like if it's a counterpoint, it might as well let me finish my point first.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me though, like finishing what I was saying, I love that dynamic because I think it's just a cute dynamic. Kilo has a similar one. This like able to flip a switch where you have like modes of your personality. You can kind of you're a killer, but like there's something tragic about that killer that desperately wants to be normal or desperately wants to have friends, but like how do you have friends where you're just so mentally numb to killing, you know? So and that's what makes their relationship so wholesome, you know? And like I'm sure you and I both agree that moment where he pulls off the fucking grenade pin to propose to her was beautiful.
Oh yeah.
You know, and like it perfectly encapsulated the weirdness yet wholesomeness of their relationship and with her, someone who she felt no man would ever really accept her, because like obviously we're not dumb, you know. If you're a hot woman, you could probably get laid with anyone. If she wanted to go out and get laid, that's one thing, but like this is different. Like she doesn't want that. She wants a genuine family life, and I think she's thinking like, okay, sure, I could go out and get laid easy, but like that's not what I want. I want someone that'll love me, someone that'll understand me as a person and like love me as a person. And I think she thinks, and I would say accurately so, that Lloyd is probably one of the only people that could take her for all of her weirdness. And obviously she doesn't understand why, but it is because Lloyd does similar work, you know what I mean? Yep. And it's a very beautiful thing there. And obviously her being a trained killer assassin amplifies her protectiveness of Anya amazingly as well. And then you have these great moments like you know, oh, what dog should we get? And she's just like you know, like he's like, oh, pit bulls to protect the house, and then she reads her mind, and it's like, I've fought a lot of dogs once before. One time that almost bit my arm off. It's just like, so like again, it's so funny to have this person who's so put together and like strong on like the physical combat side, but like will get so flustered at like something that you or me would seem it'd be like normal. I love that dynamic so much. But anyway, to you.
So for me, the aspect that I love about Lloyd is he has so much room for growth. He clearly has that issue of not being able to separate the mission fully, but he's slowly becoming attached. You can see him falling actually in love with Yor. You can see him actually trying to be the parent, but not having a single mindset for this is what a parent would do. Should I scold my child? Should I nourish my child? Should I, sit here and try to explain what they did wrong or what they did right? Should I try and help with the homework? Should I give them that time to sit there and watch the Bondman cartoon?
The little spy cartoon.
Should I let her sit there and watch an hour of that and then do the homework? Should I force all of this on like that? Yeah. That part of him,
and he's a young guy too. Like I imagine he's around our age. That's the vibe I get. Like 25ish, like mid-20s.
Yeah, he's definitely in that 20s, that mid-20s, early 30s age there. And socially for this place that they're in, to not be married at that age must have been like so weird.
It seems like this country, it's like one of those, like, if you're not married by 20, like, what the fuck are you doing?
Get married at 18. Marry your high school sweetheart. Mm-hmm. Tough it out. No divorce. No.
Yeah, and it's just basically.
And you see that, like, that second marriage thing was like, oh no.
Oh yeah.
It was so frowned upon at the academy.
And he had to like, he also had to like over impress. He had to fucking like he brought the fucking extra pair of suit like twice and he had to help people and shit. But like there's a lot of cool, like, just wrapping this up, I got about 10 minutes until I got to go watch that debate, but starting to wrap up. We can go another 5 minutes, but like there's a lot of they surprise you a lot with how they do their characters and how they do like just the plot in general. A lot of times you think it's going to go in a certain direction, but then it doesn't. Like one of the ones I thought where that guy that was all about like do it with elegance, you know, the older guy that works at the school. So like I assumed he was going to be a douche. Like all right, here comes like douche number 1, and he has elements of douchiness, but like they didn't write him as just two-dimensional douche character. He actually he stuck his neck out. And because he had a set of standards, right? Like he wasn't just, oh, I want elegance, but once it's one of my friends not being elegant, I'll be hypocritical. No. He had a set standard, and when one of his colleagues was not being elegant, being very horrible and like hitting on Yor, you know, and being really misogynistic to her and stuff, and like just straight up like making fun of like, oh, this dead wife that obviously doesn't exist but still fucked up, right? He I believe, didn't he like punch him or something?
Yeah,
he decks him right in the face. He says, bitch, that is not elegant at all. How dare you? And then he purposefully sticks his neck out to get them enrolled into this school. And then even when Anya, first day, punches the fucking, like, son of, like, one of the leaders of the country that they're in the face, he again sticks his neck out as a senior member of this school. It's been there almost his whole life. He sticks his neck out to make sure they don't get expelled. So he actually became like an MVP when you think he's going to be a douche. Like this series is really good at writing like really well-rounded characters and subverting expectations and being funny and wholesome and adorable, and it's great.
Yeah, it definitely does. And you notice he took his reprimand with stride. Like,
yeah,
I'm stuck here as like basically homeroom teacher, you know, and managing the dormitories and assisting this entry class. Because I knocked somebody's fucking head off, and I'm just here prim and proper helping these kids, and also trying to play a little bit of a balance game of like, I can't show that I'm outright babying this child, but I'm also not going to, you know, allow the system to abuse that as well.
And Anya obviously has like a both semi-advantage and disadvantage. One, she's actually a lot younger than the other kids. She lied about her age.
Right.
So, I mean, like, already, there's that. But then also, she's attempting to, like, pass all of her classes by just reading the minds of people around her. So she has to pick the right mind to read, obviously. But, just wrapping up here, because I do have to wrap this up. What I'll say from my end, and then I'll give David a final wrap-up here, is I love this series. I hope you read it, catch up, because we're going to be reviewing it. I believe this is a bi-weekly series, correct, David?
It is.
Yeah, so every other week, every time a chapter comes out, which is every other week, this is something Dave and I are going to review. We really enjoy it. I'm very excited to review it, and I hope that you guys catch up and watch it with us. Again, if you're into anything like, I don't know, if you've ever read, Komi Can't Communicate, or Don't Bully Me Nagatoro, or any of these slice of life with, like, an interesting, like, gimmick.
Sweetness and lightning, stuff like that.
Yeah, slice of life. There's some romance there. There's some wholesome there. Just wholesome comedy slice of life shit. This is your shit. Guarantee it.
Oh, yeah.
David, your final thoughts.
The final thought for me is, like, this series skyrocketed the more I read it. Like, I was saying originally, like, it was in my top 20, but now I honestly think this is hitting my top 15, maybe even top 10 if they keep doing this really well. So for me to move anything in my top series is very rare. So for this to have just blown my mind, like everybody kept recommending it in the comments, like, you need to read this, you need to read this, you need to read this. I'm like, but every time somebody says I gotta read something, it turns into like Promise Neverland. And we all.
Hey, I recommended Promise Neverland to you before it got not as good.
yeah, but like lately I've been in that funk of like I really don't want to start that many new series. I don't know why, but
and this got you out of that funk because it was so good, didn't it?
Yeah, and I started going back and reading and catching up with like Attack on Titan and a bunch of other stuff, but that's beside the point. Like, this series just warms my fucking heart, my cold little heart. So, if you like
and if it can do that, it can do it to you too.
Oh yeah, so if you like I said, Sweetness and Lightning, your Komi Can't Communicate, like you were saying, Red, like this is a series for you.
Definitely.
Like, I can't recommend it enough. Okay,
For
Just
sure.
fucking read it.
And shout out to Steel Ram, because for me it was Steel Ram continuing to recommend it.
Yeah, Steel Ram, my boy. You hammered it home, and now I'm addicted.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
And I know Luke loves it now, too. So, yeah. It's good shit. Get ready for them reviews. I'm excited. And with that, peace.
Peace.